Hi everyone, welcome to our video. This is our wedding album using our Everlasting collection, and holy man, did it turn out well. I might say so myself. A little bit of pat on my back, but you know what? It was my first real big mini album, so I'm kind of proud of it. Now, you're going to leave me a comment at the end, and it's okay if you say, it kind of sucks, or you should have done this. I'm always up for good, helpful, and comments and some creative criticism here. That's not a problem, right? But I think it turned out just delightful. Our cover, obviously, is well, let me start out first. The mini album itself is actually a pre-made mini album, which is 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. So it is actually a form that I used, so you know what this one is. There is 6 different pages inside that I'm going to go through, but as you can see from the Everlasting collection, the papers are absolutely stunning. It is so nice to work with, and it is geared, obviously the whole point is it was geared for a mini album for a wedding. Weddings are obviously big events. There's lots of photos, there's lots of journaling, there's lots of everything, so that was kind of the point behind it. So on the front of this here, this background paper with "From This Moment On" and two hands, one heart, that's done for you. That's a paper from the background and these florals and everything else. There's a butterfly and a butterfly that are actually on the paper underneath. I printed out these butterflies to give them that raised look. The Our Wedding, that is a digital stamp that is in the kit, and I placed that onto the paper before I printed it. So then that way you don't have to do anything with it, right? And that is very simple to do, and in case you're wondering how to do it, you'll go to our how-to section on our YouTube channel here, and it shows you how to do stuff like that. So these hearts, again, right part of the collection. I did nothing with them. I simply put them up on the foam squares, the sticky foam squares, in order to give it some dimension, and I really like the look of it, right? Plus the sentiment "From This Moment On," 2 hearts, 2 hands, 1 heart. Beautiful sentiment, right? So inside, we have the proposal, is the very first start. Obviously, that's where we start at. So again, let me remove this stuff here. The background paper. This, I'm going to hold this up so you can see here. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see some of the detail here. This, let me get some better lighting here. You can see how wonderful that paper is. It is an embossed kind of floral on there, almost looks like wedding veil lace. And then the florals, so that I'll zoom in on that so you can get a better understanding of, like, take a look at the florals and how crisp those are. Hopefully this is focusing right. There we go. Take a look at how crisp those are, how beautiful the papers are in here. It is just an amazing kit to work with in order to do your mini album with. So on the proposal page, this is a border that actually comes in the kit. This is actually lace, and I had my Cricut cut it out, and it did a pretty good job. Not as probably quite as good as I would want it, but not a pretty good job, right? But what's in here is there is a mat, so a photo mat. So if you have like an engagement photo that you're posting or using, or if somebody was there and actually saw it all happen, and there he is down on one knee, that kind of stuff. That is a perfect spot for the photo, as well as I've left the back blank so that way you can journal on it. But you also have this wonderful journal card. Mary Fran created this all for you. The only thing I added was this little diamond, because of course we give out diamonds at the proposal. But that's the only thing I added. Everything else, that comes exactly in the kit, just like that. The lines on it, so you can write down, the date and what happened and details about it, right? On this page, we move into getting ready, and as you'll see, there is tabs on each of these pages, and I'll show you each of them as we go along, but there is tabs in the kit. These were blank on top, so I just put in what was associated with that page that I was doing. So then that way it makes it easy to find as well, because it is such a large album and things going on there. So this is all about the bride getting ready. As you can see, again, lovely background papers, simple, nice florals, nice and colorful, give it a little bit of brightness, a little bit of interest. This dresses and tresses. This journal card, again, included. That is exactly included. I did nothing to that. I simply print it and cut it. that is included in the kit for you. And this opens up, and hopefully this isn't going way off screen here. Let's have a quick peek here. This is kind of going off screen here for us. Let's just zoom out a little bit so you can see the full effect. So on the top, I finished it off here with the same one so that it was a nice finished inside. On the bottom, same. I used that same paper with the Mr. and Mrs., right? And then in the center here, I just used a simple background paper and I layered on these 4 squares again before I printed the paper. This is just a white background paper from our Everlasting Solids. Now, because it has a little bit of a muted line pattern in it, I thought it worked perfectly for this so that you can place a photo in here if you want, but you could also journal. So who knows, maybe you place a photo here and then you journal about the bride getting ready here, place a photo here, journal about it here, or you can include 4 photos, whatever you've got. And then this is magnetized in order to close it back up again. Okay? Now in the pocket, when we slide this out, here we go. This is the bride and her ladies. So again, a great insert that has the tab already in it, so you can easily find things in the album as you're going through it. But this also has a photo area, or whatever you want to place in here. Maybe it's blue garter, because there's always something blue. There's a memento that you could place in here, a photo you could place in here, and then the back of it is journaling. And the back of it, I've also placed the tag on. This is down the aisle, which is going to be our next page. So when we slide that into our pocket, just like so, right? Hey, get in there. There we go. So here we are down the aisle. So again, this is a photo mat that Mary Fran has already done for you. Okay? In this particular instance, again, I layered this photo mat on first onto the background paper and printed it as one. That was just what I wanted to do on this particular page. Obviously, you know, you can do that differently. I've added these little pearl accoutrements, like just I thought, you know, it really goes along in the theme with the wedding and the bride. And love is a wonderful thing. This journal square, again, comes quite large like these ones in the kit. So I just scaled it down to size. I've left, as you can see, I've left this part unglued so that you can slide your photo in here for the photo mat, because everybody wants to see the bride walking down the aisle with their dad, right? Or whoever's giving away the bride. And I've put a floral cluster in there, put it up on some foam squares so that you can still slide that photo underneath, not bang at it, but just give it some dimension. The next one is walking down the aisle. So, and Forever Begins Today. So we've got a kind of a bit of a blended theme. This background paper, again, comes right in the kit exactly as you see here. With all these florals clustered on it, everything else. I just simply sized it appropriately, print it, and cut it out. It was that easy. Now walking down the aisle here, again, I've left that up. Same thing here for Forever Begins Today. I've left that up so that you can slide your photo in here quite easily, right? At the altar, so obviously we want to show that when we get up to the altar, this gives you a little photo area again and a journaling area for you. So that you can have those areas, because there is so much that you want to capture, both memories for visually with a photo as well as writing and journaling, right? The next page is going to be the rings here, as you can see by my little square, my little tabs here. Didn't those work out great? So you got the little tab there so you can flip through. So here is the rings. So here we are at the ceremony where they're saying "we do," right? Where they're saying their vows. Great paper, the Mr. and Mrs. exchanging our vows, groom, the reception, first dance. This paper is so versatile, and it comes in several different colors in the kit. So depending on what the color palette is that you're working with, you certainly have the option here in order to make that exactly what you wanted, right? And again, with this ring, this journal square is done for you. All I added was the shiny little bead on it. Obviously, ring. You can see where I'm going with that. It is like just a fabulous thing. Let me zoom in a little bit more here for you now that we're not opening things up so much. There we go. Give you a little bit of view at it. Sorry for not zooming in earlier on the last page there. So this, again, like I said, you print and cut. The belly band here, because I've left this somewhat non-glued, so you can slide a photo back in here. I just glued at the bottom edge here. And the belly band as well, so that you can hold your photo in there. Now, you can see how well this printed out. This is a ribbon that comes in the kit, so you can make a belly band out of it. Doesn't that look elegant with the lace down the side and everything else? And obviously the color theme I've tried to stay there. This is the color theme of the kit, and this is the why Mary Fran designed it this way, is no matter what color, maybe your colors are teal, or your colors are mauve, or your colors are pink, or whatever, the kit is fairly benign in terms of strong colors, so that no matter what color it is, you can do it. But also, it would go so well with black and whites. Black and white photos, to me, that is the classic, classy way of doing it, right? I really like that look, but that may not be for you. So with this ring, there's another magnetized little area. Again, another couple photos, right? So maybe you have some close-ups, maybe you have the bride's face and the groom's face at the time when they're doing their vows, whatever it is. You've got a perfect little spot for that. The first kiss. Obviously, there isn't a better photo than the first kiss. Again, this comes all for you. I've just simply cut out the area for the photo and left it here so that you can slide your photo in there, so that's easy to do. I've added an additional flower. There's a exact flower underneath this, but I've added this one on top just to give it some dimension, and added a couple of sparkling rhinestones just to give it that little bit of perk up. Same thing with the background paper. We've seen this background paper before. That is the same one as it's on the cover with the nice writing behind it, but this one is in black, and you can see how dramatic that is, right? Again, beautiful job Mary Fran did. Wonderful, wonderful job. So in our slide in, we have now Mr. and Mrs. because they've had their first kiss. So everybody, the minister or the justice of the peace has said, nope, you guys are done. So this is obviously the part where you can place in the photo of them standing at the altar, where they're being introduced. You can certainly write on the back here as well if you had anything, or add in additional photos if there was something else going on at that time. You certainly have lots of space for that, right? So slide that guy back in, and here we are. May I present to you the happy couple. So again, this is a great spot where actually I have printed off the photo mat. Okay, so that this is loose. You can actually place your beautiful photo in here. You can journal on the back. Just don't write your page 6 on the back, as you can say I made a mess of that. Diarizing, because you have so many parts and pieces when you're building a mini album that you kind of want to, oh yeah, this goes here. Maybe don't write on that, or use pencil. Okay, so here, may I present to you the happy couple, the floral cluster, and the Mr. and Mrs. little journal square. Those are all done for you. Again, stunning elements. Just really poignant elements that Mary Fran has thought of, so that when you go to create this, we all know, for those of you creating mini albums, how much work these are. Just designing all the papers and all the little pockety type things and these sorts of things. They're a lot of work. So to be able to have all this done so that you can progress on, that really helps. And Mary Fran thought of everything. On this page, the Just Married, again, these tags, Just Married, Toss the Bouquet, the Flower Cluster, all come in the kit for you. I didn't do anything other than add on a couple little pearls up here. Again, I've left these unglued so that way you can tuck your photo in here. As well, the background paper is the floral paper that you have been seeing, but it's actually called a pastel. So Mary Fran dials it down a little bit, the opacity of it, so that way it's a little more muted. We obviously want to give the photo the focal point here, but still have that beautiful element there in order to enhance everything and to give the book itself some beauty. So in the bouquet toss, again, with our pullout, we have Grow Old Along With Me, The Best Is Yet To Be. This, again, is printed off for you. I have left this open so that you can tuck a photo in there, or maybe you want to paste several in there because it is the bouquet toss. There's always some funny moments for that. And journaling on the back here as well is an availability for you, or additional photos. The next page, here we go, is the wedding party. So we're starting in on the photos. So best wishes on your very special day. I've added that to this background paper before I printed the background paper, but the florals and all the rest of that stuff, that is a background paper. That is simply print and cut. It's that super easy, yet it is just beautiful. Can you imagine cutting a nice oval photo for in here? And again, this wedding party is a blank tag that I actually added the words onto. So there is customizable stuff in here too. So depending on how you want to do it, you do have that availability. I've left this unglued on the bottom so you can slide your photo underneath it and personalize the tab on the top. So no matter whether we're going this way in the book or this way in the book, you can easily flip to each of those sections if you're showing and talking about it, right? The second page is photos as well, as you can see from my tab label. And this I've created a waterfall with. I've wanted to use a dramatic background because they are such nice photos, right? When they go out and you have your photos done, whether that's in a studio, whether that is outdoors in a beautiful park, it's on a beach, like whatever it is, that is a very, very, those are the essence of the wedding photos. Mary Fran has created tags, the bride and her ladies, so that way, and again, I've left this unglued so you can get your photo in underneath there. Again, she's thought of all these moments and given you these tags so that you can just simply place that in, have just fantastic results, but don't have to do all that work because, like I said, it is enough work just putting this all together. So we have bride and her ladies, we have maid of honor, we have fellas, the groom and his fellas, and we have best man. And then I've left another 6 areas for photos, and I've just put a blank tag on it. So that way, obviously, if you were doing this and placing photos in, you'd know what that photo is and away you go. But I've just glued these down, again, left the tops unglued so that you can slide a photo underneath, even when you're gluing it in, whatever you want. So as you can see, there is plenty of room for photos in here. There's actually 12 spots for photos in here. Sorry, 10 spots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 spots, sorry. These are the ones that really mean something, right? We're gonna have so many different photos at that photo shoot, and you want lots of room to put them in there. Now you also may have a couple that you think are absolutely outstanding, and you want to have them in a larger format here as well. And again, this one I've pasted down fully. You could have left a little bit so that you could tuck a photo underneath, but I just thought you may want to post in a lot of them, that kind of stuff, right? And again, the back for journaling, because maybe you want to write down the people's names, when you've been married as long as we have, 25 years, you kind of say, you know what, I don't rightly remember, or maybe that's a maiden name, I can't remember their maiden name for that person that was involved in the wedding party, that kind of stuff. This page here, we're at the reception. Our wedding menu. Mary Fran even thought of that, where that way you can write down, maybe you wrote down who your caterer was and we had this or the special whatever, and also cutting the cake. We have this special area for doing cutting the cake where you can put the photo in, and I've only partially glued this down here so that you can get a photo in there. Same thing with cutting the cake, you can slide your photo underneath that. Now how I built this page, again, a very nice damask pattern in there, so you have a good interesting page, but it's a little more toned down so that way your photo takes precedent. This here is a corner cluster of flowers that comes as an individual element in the kit, and I've again placed this on the page before I printed it, as well as this square. Like I've bordered it with one of the black ticking papers. Then I've put the white, again the white solids, and I've put those onto this background paper before I printed it out. And you can see how much time that saves you if you like the look of that. You may want these as dimensional, and that's fine too, right? There's a couple of ways of looking at it. On this page is the first dance. Can I have this dance for the rest of my life? Again, left open at the bottom so you can get a photo underneath. There's a beautiful floral cluster that actually blends in. It may not show up as much for you in the video, but it does when in real life here. So this is, again, print these out, cut them. I didn't alter anything. I didn't add any words. Mary Fran did all the hard work for us there. Here again, I've just bordered it with a black damask and then put the floral paper inside, because that first dance is really a almost like a frameable photo, isn't it? You know, that's one of those key moments in the wedding, and I wanted to really make an effort to design a beautiful page for that, for the bride and groom. So also is the dance. Here at the dance, we have the father-daughter dance on the top. We have our guests at the bottom. As you can see, I used 2 different papers for it and put a ribbon through the center in order to cover up where those 2 meet. I just thought it was kind of interesting. It gave the page a little bit more interest. I've added this nice butterfly in here because it is a sweet moment. I thought that went along quite nicely in there. And again, I've left these partially glued so you can slide these in. But for your guests, you could put a ton of photos on here. You don't necessarily, you could have used our guests and put that up here where I've had these rhinestones so that you have a ton of room, because there's obviously key people there that maybe you don't see that often, or special uncle and aunts that you know or you may not see as often, that you want to remember that they were there. The last page, which is the inside of the back cover, is "And They Lived Happily Ever After." So again, with this background paper, this was print and cut. This stamp, "And They Lived Happily Ever After," comes as a digital stamp in the kit. I just added that to the paper before I printed it out. And as you can see, to have a nice oval shape of that photo where that is finished up for the bride and groom, maybe they're heading off to their honeymoon or their night or whatever, that signifies the end of the wedding and the whole event and ceremony. And lastly, on the back page, I've used that beautiful floral again and placed in this big journal square. "My heart is and always will be yours," from Jane Austen, a beautiful quote. I've left this and I've pasted it on flat because I thought, you know, it's the back cover. I don't want things to get caught on it. But this again is fully done for you in the kit. I did nothing. I did not alter a thing there. So there it is, folks. That is our wedding mini album using our Everlasting collection. I hope you liked it. I hope you will actually take the advancement and make one of these, because as much work as it was, look at how personalized this is and how great of a gift this would be, and very, very treasured for the bride and groom. It was a lot of fun to do as well. It's a project that obviously takes you a few days, so it gives you something, you know, to extend the fun of the creating and stuff. Thanks again for watching. I hope you'll give us a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on the mini album itself and how it all worked out, or the Everlasting kit, that kind of stuff. And I hope you'll subscribe to our channel so that you'll be made aware of any time we have new videos out. Thanks again, and see you soon.